welcome to another conversation with Jeshu and Teresa Ram. We're passionate about marriages. We're passionate about relationship. Today, we're going to be talking about why it's so important for us to keep the romance alive in our marriage. Yeah.
You go first. Why do you think so?
You put me on the spot there. Yeah.
Okay, fine, I'll go. Okay. So for me, I need the romance to continue because that is what keeps me grounded, because I know that you're still in love with me.
A lot happens in marriage, in life. Things come up. And in the midst of struggle, in the midst of conflict, in the midst of challenges that we face, to know that somebody is there, that they love you in the midst of it. We want to keep that romance alive. When we were first dating and going out and everything, we were like, we were cloud nine.
You were a little bit mushy.
Yes, a little bit mushy. And I was, all over you all the time.
How many phone calls did you make to me a day?
Oh, about 5 phone calls. We were two different cities. I would call her every 2 hours I would call her.
Yeah.
Because of the love that was there and because I wanted to be with you. And when we get married, that's there. And then life gets busy and we have kids and all those things. Sometimes we forget to romance each other. Mm-hmm. We forget to keep that spark alive in a marriage. If you don't keep the spark alive, what happens is that in some ways you just feel dry.
Yeah. Dry is the exact right word.
Dry. It's just like a plant when that romance is not there. What happens is that it gets disconnected, and the plant just gets it withers. It droops. It's whether this disconnect happens, but when that romance is there, it keeps it fresh. Mm-hmm. Keeps it alive, and so one of the ways that we kind of keep our spark and our romance alive is that spending some quality time, taking time for us to connect and check in, how things are going.
Yeah, all the time. We it's generally it's the planned stuff, but it's the small, unplanned moments. Like when you showed up at work the other day with Thai food.
Yeah.
I
did good, people.
You did really good. And I was hungry. And it was good. Or the spontaneous drives or foot rubs or movies that we've been wanting to see that we pay for, to rent at home, or it's just the small, thoughtful gestures, and for me, it's super practical, because that's, especially when we had young children, like when he would bathe the kids and put them in bed and then come and do the dishes, like all of those were things that I then didn't have to do after having wrangled them all day long. And that spoke volumes of love to me because I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
Sharing the mental load is a big deal.
Yeah. And because your love language is act of service,
It grew into that.
Yeah, it grew into that. As you got busy, that was it, and that was valuable for you to do that. And for me, it was more of that, going and exploring things and being adventurous, doing something new together. And we would do that. We would make time for that, And sometimes even though when you were tired, didn't want to do it, you still did it. And it added a lot of value to me that showed a lot of love to me. So finding ways to serve each other also keeps the spark alive.
Yeah, it does. I mean, your love language is words of affirmation. And mine really is not. So it can be challenging for me sometimes because I feel like I'm affirming you often, but not necessarily always the way you want to hear it.
That's right.
And so I have to work sometimes to really find those words. And sometimes I succeed and sometimes I don't. But I still always tell you how much I love you, how much I appreciate you, how proud I am of you, because I am. I'm super proud of you.
And one of the ways that we've gone keeping the spark alive, when we're cooking or anything like that, grabbing you, giving you a kiss and giving you a hug. So it's just not only those things just don't happen in the bedroom, but they're happening throughout the day.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the day, that expression of love that shows that, he's mine, this is my woman,
Yeah.
and I get to do life with this beautiful woman. So there's many ways that you could be creative in keeping your spark alive. So we're always looking for many ways, like what can we do? And there are times I get this little nudge in me, is like, hey, the lunch, bring the lunch. I just was having lunch. I just felt like, you're eating at your wife's favorite place. She loves Thai food. And I was like, okay, I'm going to bring her some lunch, surprised her. But it kept the spark alive that way. So simple acts of service, simple acts of love. Thoughtfulness.
Yeah. It's the thoughtfulness.
Yeah. We also tease each other.
You do.
We tease each other. We have fun. We poke each other in a fun way. And we keep the spark alive. And it's so important to laugh.
Oh, my gosh.
You got to laugh.
If you didn't make me laugh, I don't know if I'd still be here. Because I need to laugh. And you make me laugh like nobody else ever could. And that's huge.
Yeah. And
huge.
And I love making you laugh. Because, it connects us in a lot of, and it also helps us with our communication and how we communicate. And we play, we laugh, we joke, we joke around.
We intentionally embarrass our children.
Intentionally, that's good.
It's one of my favorite things. Yeah. Intentionally embarrass our children.
And our friends.
Yeah, but especially our children.
Everybody has a tool. Everybody has ways to keep the spark alive in their marriage. The only thing that you have to do is be aware of it and be intentional in doing those. So find ways. And we talk about it as well. We kind of like, hey, what can we do? That's the check-in part. Check-in about how we're doing. That's a very good question to ask and find out, because you go through different seasons. We change in some ways. Our needs change too. So we have to check in and evaluate and find, how can I love you more? How can you love me more? Ways to do that, Yeah.
A lot of it's just communication and not assumption.
Hey, thank you for joining us. And we'll definitely see you for our next conversation.